Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We're continuing with our starting with Divi series of videos. We installed the theme and we branded the theme in the last two videos. We took a look at the Divi theme options here in our first video. In this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into all the things that we've got going here under the options tab. So under the general tab, we covered adding the logo and taking you through fixed nav bars, showing you exactly what all these things do here, social medias and the custom CSS box at the bottom here. One of my favorites is the back to top button. I'm going to turn that on. I like to keep that one on by default. It adds a little arrow to the side of whatever page. When you scroll down, it enables people to click on it and shoot back to the top, which is really useful on mobile phones because people tend to do a lot of scrolling on mobile phones. Okay, our next tab across is navigation. Now, I haven't got any pages on mine because this is a brand new site, but you can choose to exclude any pages from your nav bar up there by checking them right here. And of course, you can create your own custom menus and exclude them that way. You can choose whether or not to show drop-down menus. Click on something, it has a drop-down, it'll appear below it. I tend to leave those enabled. Display a home page link. If I go to this page here, you'll see automatically it puts in a home page link, which will always take you back, funnily enough, to the home page, as will clicking on your logo. Now, some people don't want a home page link. Just turn that off. You can sort your page links by post title, menu order, post date, post modified ID, post order, or post name right here. Post title is pretty common. And you can also order your page links by ascending or descending. If you want it the other way around, just hit descending right there. Number of drop-down tiers shown. If you've got a drop-down menu here, that's 1. If it's got a drop-down, that's 2. If your drop-down's got a drop-down, that would be 3. If you need to up that, you can do here by putting in whatever number you want, but that's going to cover most situations right there. And as with the general tab, once you make any changes here, you want to make sure you hit the Save Changes button. You'll get a little green check mark just like that. Next over, we have our builder, and this is where you can decide to enable or disable the builder on posts, pages, and projects. For me, I like to keep those on because I use the builder in all those situations. Some people like to build their posts with the Gutenberg, which is the generic WordPress builder. If that's the case, just disable that right there. And again, you need to save your changes. I'm going to leave mine on. And again, if you change anything, make sure you save your changes. Now there's an advanced tab here. With Divi 4, occasionally you'd have caching issues. Things wouldn't quite display on the front as they did in the builder. And you can flip your CSS code so it displays inline. It'll rewrite it. That used to fix a lot of issues if you have them. You can leave your product tool on here. You can enable the classic editor, which in Divi 4 was a back-end one, a bit like frame mode for building pages. And you can force enable a Divi 4 shortcode framework. One of the great things about Divi 5 is it no longer uses the shortcode framework, which is perfect for Divi 4 and worked wonderfully, but it did slow loading time down. So you can enable it if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. And again, of course, if you change anything, save your changes. Next one across is the layout, and you've got single post, single page, and general settings here. You can choose which items to display. To disable one, this is your metadata right here on the posts. Just click on it, it'll gray it out. Show comments. A lot of the time I don't like people to comment on posts. You do get it opens it up to a lot of spam by doing that. And place thumbnails on posts, that's fine. Single page layout. Don't really want thumbnails on pages and don't really want them to show comments on the pages. For our general settings, on post info, as I said before, it's going to show you the author, it's going to show the date, and it's going to show the categories. Comments is grayed out there. If you want the comments to be showed, you can just click on it, re-enable it that way. And show thumbs on index pages, enable by default. Obviously, turn it off if you don't want it. And once again, make sure you save your changes if you make any. Next one is really for Google ads. If you've got Amazon or Google ads or anything like that, you can enable banners which will pop up and put your AdSense code in there and it'll display these banners on your various pages. SEO, you can enable custom titles, meta descriptions and meta keywords here. Enable canonical URLs right there. You can put custom keyword enriched titles here for your homepage if you want to. It's not a bad idea, unless you're using a plugin like Yoast that will help you do that. And you can add a meta description here, add a nice keyword rich description about your site. You can add just the keyword tags on their own if you want to here. And if you've got custom titles disabled, you can decide what to put in right here. Now here we've got it define a character to separate blog name and post title. If we look up here, that would be the blog name, that would be the post title. The character that we've got there is pretty standard. It's a pipe, but you can change it to anything you want. For instance, if I put in a dash, save the changes now. I'll refresh this page. We've now got a dash in there. I'm pretty happy with the pipe. So let's put that back in there. And we'll resave those changes. Just make sure that's going to work still. And we'll update this one more time. Got a pipe, but we need a gap either side there. So all we need to do is put a space in and a space the other side. We save our changes. We refresh. Perfect. Next along is our integrations tab, where you can enable header codes, body codes, single top codes, and single bottom codes. Now, if you've got these enabled, we'll find these boxes down below here. This is great for putting extra JavaScript for functionality in your site ahead of your blog. In the body, great for Google tracking and analytics and things like that. If you're using Google Analytics, you've got a code and this is where you put it. Same with the top of your post and the bottom of your post. You may want to put some kind of JavaScript in there for functionality purposes. And of course, once again, hit your save changes. And the last one is the updates. Now, if you watch our first video when we downloaded and installed this, it asks you to log in to your Elegant Themes site right here. Once you did that, it automatically put in the API key for us. And the API key is the username that you used for your Elegant Themes here. And if you look under account, you'll find your API key right there. And that's what we've got right here. Now, occasionally, if you update to a new version of Divi, you'll have a problem. Something may break. If that's the case, you can roll back to the previous version really easily by just clicking on this button right here. And again, once you do something here, make sure you save your changes. So there we go, guys. There's an overview of the Divi theme options for you. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.